Welcome back to today's episode of Dwellings by Joyful Mondays. It's an absolute pleasure to be your host for today. On today's episode, we are in this beautiful curated space in Accra. This space was originally an enclosed space, but the designer decided to open it up and make it an open plan. And they did a fantastic job.
My name is Dado Azu, and I am, what do I do? I own a bunch of restaurants in Accra, and my relationship to the space is the designer of the space.
So Dado, what mood were you trying to achieve when you designed this beautiful space?
You know, I just thought about the environment that we're in. In Accra, it's really busy, it's hectic, we go to work, it's crazy out there. I wanted to create a mood of calmness and of peace and of joy and of creativity. So I thought, how can I incorporate all these things in one small space? So I just had to decide on the elements that were going to go into the space to make sure that it was felt. What I was trying to achieve was felt when you walked into the house. So that's what I did.
And I believe you did a really good job.
Thank you.
With
Thank
that.
You.
Yeah,
Still a work in progress.
Yeah. Tell us about the space, the overall space. I know this is not the original plan.
Not at all.
Okay, so tell us about that.
So, I mean, what do you do with a house that's drab, dry, no vibe, no style, nothing, just a big mess, actually? What do you do with it? You know, you call a friend. So what I did was I called my friend Theo Saki of Symbolic Spaces. And I said, would you come look at the space and see how we could make it work together? And he's like, sure. So
Theo's an architect.
Theo is an architect
of
Symbolic Spaces. So he came and he's like, oh, you could do a lot of things to this space. And so we just started talking about it. The plan wasn't even to just do it right away, but it just got exciting, you know, and it was so fun working with him. So we just opened it up and I said, okay, so then let's go. So we combined forces and we made this happen.
What role does art play in the overall aesthetics of the space?
Art is joy, art is life, art is creativity and inspiration. I wanted to incorporate things that make us who we are. Things that make us who we are into the space. So we're in Ghana, of course, and we have beautiful art. We have art from all over Africa. So sorry about that. So, I acquired a bit of art from Mali, some from Accra. Takira had some nice pieces that we added on, some Sanufa stools from the art center. So I collected a bunch of art pieces that spoke to the space and, put it together.
I like that you use local artisans to
a lot of that.
Yeah,
a lot
to
of
make
that.
this happen.
Yeah.
When you enter into the space, you get that indoor, outdoor vibe. Can you tell us more about that?
I'm glad you caught that because it was very intentional. This house is a place where there's a lot of hosting. There's a large family. There's a lot of gatherings that happen. So I wanted to make sure that nobody felt like they were missing a part of the house. So, in a place where there's a lot of gossip and a lot of activity and cooking and stuff going on, I thought it would be nice that we can just check in on each other. Oh, is this ready? Who's playing outside? Are the kids in the garden? Just an easy flow so that we can have a nice time together without feeling like you have to go inside of the kitchen. Everything is closed in Ghana usually. So you enter the room to get into a kitchen. You enter a room to get into the living room. And it doesn't work anymore for this day and age.
Yeah,
it's just a big flow of everything.
What would you say? Right. Big love and a flow.
Yes.
But what would you say to people that will say that your house is going to smell because, cooking inside the house in open space? It's
we like to think that we cook a lot of the things that give us a bit of a smell. But we really don't. It was a concern of mine. But, if you have a good extractor and a good flow of the house, the
The
smells,
scent lingers
yeah,
away. It
yeah,
doesn't
it
stay.
doesn't linger. Yeah, it stay.
Yeah.
In this house there is an outdoor kitchen.
Yeah.
Where if you want to cook something really hectic like peanut soup, but peanut soup actually smells really nice. And to have a bit of a nice aroma in the living room here and then is. But I feel like it's a small price to pay if it's a family and you're sitting around here and there's someone in the kitchen cooking. You don't want them to feel isolated.
Yeah.
So it's nice to pull them into the space. We think we're gonna make those dishes more than we actually do, because we're in a new age. People are in a hurry to go to work and come home and have a good meal quickly. So nobody's gonna spend hours and hours making
Kobe.
okra stew and Kobe stew and all that. But even if you do, not a big deal. As long as you have a lot of windows and doors, it's not as big of a deal as it used to be. People really don't. It hasn't been a problem so far.
Yeah.
Because the space is well ventilated. We have good extractors. There's a lot of things that you can do to omit the smell from the space. So I just think that for an easy flow of things, people really need to open up the space so that there's more communication between the spaces, more communication between the people who live in the space and who gather around the table in a space. So
Yeah.
I think it's a small price to pay. A little bit of a nice
I agree.
Nkattenkwine smell is a small price to pay.
So that you're not really, you're still involved in the gathering, as opposed to spending your time away from
and not
everybody
just
else.
involved, but the fact that we're not spending a lot of time together lately,
Right.
you just want to spend as much time as you can with the people who you're around. So if you have to be locked up in the kitchen cooking, and it ruins the fun. So it's better if we can all just be in the same space.
There are a lot of windows here.
Yeah,
During the day, it's really nice and bright.
yeah.
What motivated you to do that?
I find that a lot of homes in Ghana are very closed. And for a space that, if you lived outside of Ghana before, you know what sunshine is to you. I mean, we spent a lot of, I used to live in Canada, so for 8 months of the year, it wasn't sunny at all. So I come home and I'm thinking, everything should be open. We should let the sun in wherever we can. And we don't. We're still building houses with a lot of concrete and all of that. So, when I spoke to Theo, I said, one thing that I would like is a lot of light inside of this house. So, it worked out. It worked out. Wherever we could fit a window, we fit a window. Wherever we could fit a door, we fit a door. And that's why we did the a bit of the sunroof, so you could see. When it's raining, you could look up and enjoy the rain. So
I love that.
it's yeah.
That.
I think that's where we need to start getting creative, because we don't need, ECG is quite expensive actually, and people don't need to be in spaces that are closed where you need to turn your AC on all the time and your lights on all the time. No,
you can just open the windows,
open your windows and your doors. At 4 o'clock you need to close them though. Mosquitoes kind of
And also, I noticed that you have a lot of smart features. Shout
Right.
out to Bumblebee.
Bumblebee made it happen.
Yes.
It's been amazing. I wasn't a big believer of anything smart. I fought it the whole way through. But for the space, they consulted with them and they said, you need a bunch of these things. I said, I don't know why it's needed, but it's been amazing because you could just use a remote to open the windows, the doors. I could open the door from wherever I am in the world, just, or wherever you are in the world, you can open the windows.
And also, for someone that travels a lot,
Exactly.
it's good for that person because Bumblebee also offers security options.
Exactly. So there are cameras all over the house. If somebody were to drop something off, you could just press a remote and it would be open. The doors, the curtains, the TV, the air fryer, anything smart. Now I'm a believer. I'm a believer in smart.
And what inspired the color options, the paint options of this space?
Again, calm. With the hustle and bustle in Accra, Accra life, it just seemed appropriate to have a space that wasn't too loud and too bright and too colorful, because there's so much color out there. So I was thinking of a space where you could come and retreat, get into yourself, feel a bit of a yoga vibe, and then recharge, and then you can go back in the world. But you know that when you come home, you've come to your safe haven. Everything is calm and cool and quiet. Just a bit of relief from the harshness of this city.
So this house is very functional.
It is.
It has a lot of unique features.
Yeah.
I love this. What is this? An actual
Yeah,
pizza
it's an actual pizza oven.
oven.
It was a headache to bring in, but you know, it works for the space. And again, since this is a house of entertainment, gatherings, and a lot of good times, you know, it felt appropriate to have something that can bring everybody together. And pizza brings everybody together.
Pizza brings everybody
so
together.
that worked for the space. So we got that. And, you know, we just tried to put a lot of seating everywhere so that people can just sit. If you want to sit outside, have a drink, that's fine. If you want to be inside, that's fine, but still be engaged. Still have an engaging space where everything's communicating with each other.
Yeah. You added some natural elements to this kitchen.
Yeah.
With the plants.
Right.
Tell us more.
You know, I think it blends with the indoor-outdoor feel of things. You know, you have plants out there. You should have plants in there because it just makes it feel, it gives them a little more life. And, you know, it helps in feeling like you're alive when you're inside. And just to beautify the space, really.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
It worked. These two are vintage pieces that I got from a guy who deals in a lot of vintage, like just blending the old and the new and the created, like, you know, just creating a true living space, you know, things that work. It doesn't necessarily have to be in fashion or new, but I mean, these things were beautifully crafted. I found them, and I found them for about 400 CDs a piece.
Wow.
So look at that, and it works. I mean, it's enjoyable to sit in.
Yeah, it's very
sit
nice.
on.
And then I like that you break it down with this wooden piece over here.
Yeah.
Yeah. It breaks it down, it balances the whole space.
Right.
So like you said, it's modern and traditional
at the same time.
All fused together.
Yeah.
I think the coolest feature in this space, personally, is this Biggie Smalls.
It was all a dream.
It doesn't belong here, but it belongs here.
It belongs here. It always belongs. Biggie always belongs. So I believe that you know, you must live in your space and you must incorporate things that you like in the space. So the homeowner is a music lover, and so they incorporate that into it. It's all part of the whole open plan where you could sit and just vibe to some music whilst people are cooking, people are sitting around. This house was really made to be people-centered.
Yeah.
It's not a place to be by yourself, really. There are few places that you can retreat to and rest if you want to, but when you're in here, usually there's more than one person in here. So
it's like the house of entertainment and joy.
Joy.
There's joy
really
in this
because
home.
Nobody entertains anybody, but I guess people can sit and just enjoy each other. Yes, that's the whole point. So in incorporating things that the owner likes to have things that they love all around them, to always remind them of who they are, what they like, and not just have a space that looks beautiful but with no purpose. So that's where this DJ machine comes in, because as a music lover, I feel like it's situated in the right place where when the house is open, doors are open and people are gathered around, it's a nice addition to the feel of the space. You know, you go out and you're feeling tired and you want to play some mellow jams, you stand there, you DJ a little bit. If you're happy and there are a bunch of people at your house, then they can also enjoy the sounds from this little machine. So I just feel like it works out in this space.
Thank you for showing us your beautiful design. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Oh, you're welcome.
As always, the goal of Dwellings is for you to be inspired so that you can take your next design from ordinary to extraordinary. Until next time, see ya. Bye.
Bye.